Good morning. This is Nos Biggs. I'm the naturopath that always encourages you to try naturopathy. And I want to review an article written by Marilyn Marchioni of the Associated Press. It appeared in the Charlotte Observer September 2020 on page 6A. And this is related to the work that we've been doing for you regarding nootropics and gene expression. And she starts out by saying it's still too early to assume to make genetically edited babies because the science isn't advanced enough to ensure safety, says an international panel of experts who have mapped a pathway for countries that want to consider it. Now, this report is talking about a Chinese scientist who shocked the world revealed that he had helped make the first gene-edited babies using a tool called the CRISPR. It enables DNA changes or edits that can pass to future generations. He did this to 3 babies when they were embryos to try to make them resistant to infection and to the AIDS virus, and described it in an exclusive interview with the Associated Press. So obviously this Marilyn Marchioni has been following this thing pretty closely. Mainstream scientists has condemned his experiment as unethical. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison for violating Chinese laws. The experts commission formed in the aftermath by the U.S. National Academy of Medicine, U.S. National Academy of Sciences, and the United States Royal Society. So, here's a guy who's already figured out how to do this, and I'm not saying that ethically it's correct, but he's figured out how to do it, and he's been persecuted and put in 3 years jail. The group doesn't take a stance on whether editing embryos is ethical, just whether it's ready scientifically, and deems that it's not. The commission doesn't say that if a country allows this, it should be limited to cases where people have or very poor options for having a child without disease. Initial attempts should be for serious diseases caused by a single gene, such as muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, blood disorder, beta thalassemia, Tay-Sachs. So altering genes to try to enhance traits such as muscle mass or height is not endorsed. So the PAN recommended that. Here's what's happening. The rich and the elite have already figured this out, and now they want to keep it on a hush-hush. That's what they're saying. The panel recommended pregnancy should be edited. Embryos should not be attempted unless it's clearly possible to make only the intended gene changed and not in the unintended ones, which can't be done now. Well, hell, they don't know. Extensive public discussions should be held before any country decides to alter editing embryos, eggs, or sperm. Initial uses should be limited to cases meeting 4 criteria. A serious disease caused by a single gene editing is limited to changing a problem DNA sequence to one that is known to be safe in the general population. No embryos without the problem gene are edited, and parents lack a good way to have a child without the disease causing fertility problems. So this is just a bunch of crap. And so we'll end it up by saying it gives much better clarity about what it would take to go forward. And now that it's not the time, says Jeffrey Kahn, bioethics chief of Johns Hopkins University. He was the guy that was screwing around with the coronavirus. Whether editing is acceptable from an ethics and social perspective needs to be answered country by country. You're modifying future human. It's a big step. Our group was very concerned about the potential for rogue scientists to proceed on their own. Well, isn't that what George Church just said he was going to do? He's going to stop the aging process by 2030. The cat's out of the bag, folks. So this is Nos Biggs, Stephen Gibson, and I'm always encouraging you to try naturopathy. If you visit our site, TryNaturopathy.com, we have an interesting program for you. We can connect you to a wonderful company that will give you access to health associates that you can call during the day up until 10 o'clock at night and simply discuss your issue. They'll provide email support with a research report, a recommendation, and protocols if they have it. And that'll come to you in an email form free of charge. Now, if you decide that after you receive their work, if you want to forward that to me and say, Mr. Gibson, Dr. Gibson, I want to be your naturopath. That program works this way. For 30 days, you can contact me via Skype, or we prefer Zoom. We do Google Hangouts, and we'll talk and see if your idea of health and wellness is consistent with mine. And I'm sure that in most cases, I can make a compelling argument that if you will give me an opportunity to be your naturopath, I can save you a substantial amount of money and make you much healthier over time. So let's say you go through the 30-day period and you say you want to go forward. You will have a contract with me on an annual basis of $5,000, typically for a family of 4. Obviously, it's scaled down if it's an individual and if it's only 2 per, but let's do a family of 4. So that's $5,000. Now, it is not billed, as I understand it, is not billed until the 12th month of your contract. And if you have been regularly checking in periodically just to make sure that everything is as we're suggesting, and you're doing the things that we know don't cost you anything and all to take action, you get a rebate of 90%. So 5,000, 90% means that it costs you $500 to have access to the world's best naturopath. Pretty good deal. So that's the way. So I'm going to post this around, and I'm going to encourage you to try naturopathy. Life Extension is the company that allows me to say to you that you can have access to all this wonderful healthcare professionals. I'm the guy that is the world's best naturopath, and I am humble about it. Take care.